Hey y'all, today in this video I wanted to make my meat crust pizza because last time I made it last month when I posted pictures. I had a bunch of people saying they would like a video done. We have company in case you can't hear the noise in the background, and so I thought a nice easy crowd pleaser is the meat pizza, and so I'm gonna make it and you can make it along with me. So you want to preheat your oven to 400 because we're going to pre-bake the crust, and I'm going to angle my camera down so that you can see what I'm doing. So in here I've got ground beef and pork Italian sausage. I'm going to be making 2 batches. Could you guys keep it down a little bit in there? Thank you. Life in a crazy household. And then I also had some ground turkey that I wanted to use up, so I'm going to make another batch with ground turkey. You can use whatever meats you want. If you want just regular pork sausage or sage pork sausage or just ground beef, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever your preference is. So for the crust, I take the meat and egg whites. You can use whole eggs, but I like the egg whites just to help make the crust get together the way so that it's easy to be rolled out, and I like to use the egg yolks to eat. So egg whites or whole eggs, your preference. Pork panko, I don't buy pork panko, I make my own. It's easy to do and it's way cheaper with pork rinds. Just throw them in a food processor or a grinder, and that's all this is ground up pork rinds. When you are looking for pork rinds, always check the ingredients because many of them have added sugars and things on them. This is actually Aldi's brand and it's really clean. It's just the fried pork skins and then salt and a natural smoke flavor. So I've seen some with dextrose and maltodextrin added in, and it's really kind of gross. Another Epic is another good brand. So I just take these, I throw them in my blender thing and grind it up. I am also going to be using Parmesan cheese, shredded Parmesan cheese in the crust, and then some seasonings. Now I have some pizza seasoning that's really clean. It's put out by Frontier. Frontier does a lot of good, clean things. This has onion, bell pepper, fennel seed, oregano, garlic, basil, chili peppers, parsley, thyme, marjoram, and celery flakes. Use whatever seasonings you like. I'm going to try this along with some Italian seasoning and garlic powder because my family likes garlic crust. So, and you'll need parchment paper. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to angle the camera down so you won't have to deal with this mug. Maybe I'm going to angle the camera down. There. Okay. All right. So I like to use my electric hand mixer. You could use a stand mixer, but for this, this is just as easy. Last time I made this, I made the crust a little bit too thick, and the kids really liked the ones that I made with a thinner crust. Plus, I'm going to do individual crusts today. So, sorry, it's just a little bit crooked there. So I'm going to do smaller single serve, like so everyone can have their own toppings. This is all like from my brain. I haven't seen this on any website, so if it is on any blog or anything like that, this is just what I came up with. I'm not really using any measurements. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So you have your ground beef or your ground meat. I have 3 egg whites because I've got about 2 to 3 pounds of meat in here, and so that may be a little bit too much. I don't know. We'll see. Then just such a recipe. It really does not have to be accurate, because you're gonna want it to be a little stiffer than like meatloaf, because you want to be able to roll it out, whereas like meatloaf really doesn't roll very well, in my opinion. Not that I've really tried, so I guess I don't really know, but the consistency of it, I wouldn't think that it would really roll. Okay, so this is basically what we got going on right now. Now the seasoning, I've never used this seasoning before, so I am going to grab a measuring spoon. So when I came up with this, I got a ton of ground beef, and so I wanted to find creative ways to use ground beef besides just browning it up as tacos and things like that. So this, we try to eat mostly meat heavy keto way of eating, so this worked out perfect. Now if you don't have a hand mixer, you could mix this with a fork or whatever. This just is my preference. Good. The consistency, that'll roll, but I'd like it a little bit firmer, so I'm going to add a little more of the pork rinds. It's just going to help soak up the fat as it bakes. And then I'm going to add the garlic powder. I know it looked like a lot, but it really wasn't, because there's a lot of meat here. And my Italian seasoning. All right. And I am going to add just a little more seasoning. About a half a tablespoon. And now I'll blend this up. You know what? I'm going to add some more Parmesan cheese too, because why not? There. All right. Much better. You can see even in here. So that's all there is to making the crust. I like recipes that don't have to be exact, and you can, just be creative with it. If you've got certain seasonings or whatever that you like, use those. So I did wash my hands before I started the video, just so y'all know, because that would be gross not to. Okay. All right. So, now the fun part of rolling it out. You're going to roll it between two pieces of parchment paper. All right. 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to take our parchment paper, and I roll it a little bigger than what I'm going to need. Now, one thing that I learned last time is that this will stick to the parchment paper. So I use spray. If you don't find that necessary, it's totally your call, but that is my preference. Oops, it'll help if I open the right drawer. Do you know what happened to my rolling pin? Oh, here it is. It's in the wrong drawer. All right. You can roll this as thick or as thin as you want. I rolled it a little too thick last time, so it was really like you were just eating a cheeseburger with pizza toppings. Don't mind my hand. There. All right. I kind of just smush it down a little bit first. And then I'm going to try to roll this out in as much of a circle as I can. So the nice thing is that this is pretty close to a full carnivore pizza, other than, you know, you got your toppings and stuff. So this is much bigger than a single serve. I don't know if you can see, but see how it's peeling up? It's because I didn't have the spray wasn't there. So now this is what I'm going to do. This is nice and real thin, you can see. But some of the edges are super duper thin. So I'm just going to kind of like make this into more of a circle. And this part on this side is like super thin, like really thin, where it's going to burn before the rest of the crust even has a chance to cook. So by pushing this in, it's just going to thicken it up a little there, and you can kind of pat it down. It just makes it not quite so thin, because you don't want it to burn, and you really want it to try and be even. So if you need to take some off to make the thickness even, that's perfect. Now when you cook this, you're going to want to cook the crust all the way through. Like, you're not par baking it. You're going to want to cook it all the way through, and it's okay to have it bigger, because this is going to shrink up. As the meat cooks, it is going to shrink up. You'll also, a good idea in your oven is to not, you can cook this right on the rack like a pizza, but if you've got a stone pan or a pizza pan or something, and even maybe put some parchment paper on the shelf, on the rack underneath, or a drip pan underneath, something, just in case the fat drippings were to drop. You just don't want to end up with a lot of smoke. So I actually have, my oven is preheated, so I'm going to throw this in the oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 10 minutes, but you're going to keep a close eye on it to make sure that it doesn't burn. All right, now I want to try a stuffed crust one because it just sounds really fun. So we'll see. I don't know how that will turn out. And I'm going to reuse this top sheet again, but I'm just getting more of the spray. So I'm going to do the bottom just like I did before. I have someone trying to get a hold of me. All right. So I'm going to roll this out again. Now we've made stuffed crust fathead pizza, which is a primarily mozzarella based pizza with some almond flour and cream cheese, and we've done stuffed crust with that. So I'm just curious to see. Alright, this one's going to peel up. Still not as nice as I would like it. That's on it. Well, it is what it is. Alright, there we go. So we'll just press it down. And this in so that it's still more of that circular shape. Alright. Okay, alright. So now, for the stuffed crust, I'm going to use some cream cheese. If I can get it open. And we're just going to kind of shape it along the sides here. Make this will be a very tiny pizza, but it'll give me a good idea. So I'm kind of just taking this edge, and then I'll add a little bit more of the meat mixture. But I'm kind of rolling up whatever of the edge that I can. take some of the meat, just kind of flatten it, and I'm just going to pack it around the crust. And this may or may not turn out. I don't know. That will be, one of the kids will be the guinea pigs. And you want to make sure that it's thick enough that you don't roll it so thin that you can see the parchment paper underneath. Because then as it shrinks up, it's going to shrink too thin, and so it's not going to, your toppings will leak through when you're trying to eat it like pizza. So if you do see holes, like I'm finding little holes here because I just rolled it too thin in that particular area, then just add a little bit more of your meat mixture. All right. So I'll be right back. As soon as the first crust is done, I'm going to throw this in the oven, and then I will bring out the first crust, and we can put the toppings on. All right, and we are back with our finished crust. So this is, it'll cook a little more, but it is cooked. Also, while I was waiting for it to cook, of course, when I'm not on camera, I roll out a perfect crust. I'm just going to move this over to the stove, and I have the stuffed crust in the oven right now. I do have a dish for if there was excess grease on here. Okay, so pizza sauce, and then Shari, could you go see if can you go see if never mind, I got it right in here. All right. Pizza sauce and cheese. Yes, I know it's bagged cheese. Yes, I know it does have some starches. Just count them in your carbs, and it is what it is. I don't have time right now with the holidays to shred my own cheese. So get a clean, if you're not going to make your own pizza sauce, get a clean pizza sauce. This one does not have any added, it has olive oil, it has a tiny bit of sugar added. That was the best one that I could find at the store that I happened to be at. This is actually my preferred brand. Is one of my preferred brands because this actually has no sugar. It's tomato puree, water, salt, olive oil, spices, dried garlic, and onion. So I actually, last one, I don't know where I ended up with that. It wasn't one that I had bought. So I always read the ingredients. I never want anything with soybean oil or canola oil, only olive oil. And you can easily make your own pizza sauce as well. Can I help you, young lady? Oh, okay. Just thought I'd ask.
Did you pause it?
No. Mm-mm. Hey, this is life. So I like to do the sauce all the way out to the edge of the crust. And really, when you think about pizza, all that the traditional breaded crust that's super bad for you is a transport unit for the yummy toppings. So at least this crust will bring some health. So put on as much sauce or as little sauce as you want. And then some cheese. Can you get me a bag of pepperoni?
Yeah.
Since you're in here? Thank you. It's over there somewhere. I don't know, I bought a whole bunch. Look in the pantry.
Okay. Isn't that still in the fridge?
No, I don't think so. I just bought a whole bunch of pepperoni because I knew I was going to be making it. Thank you. Yep. You want to open it?
We have pepperoni that's already open, although they're going to be the same for those.
Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. So pepperoni is a really nice fatty meat. And again,
pineapple on a pizza?
I bought pineapple.
Okay.
Again, you just want to watch it to be sure of the ingredients. So you can use whatever cheeses you want. If you want to use goat cheese, or you can use chicken for a topping. If you wanted to do a white sauce and make like a chicken Alfredo, you could definitely do that. I think the stuffed crust is as fancy as I'm going to get for today. And this one is for my hubby, because he has to leave in a little bit. So I want to make sure he has time to eat before he has, before his feeding window closes. And he likes a mixture of mozzarella and then some cheddar cheese. And really the only carbs that will be in this is the little bit of starch. We do the best we can, right? The little bit of starch in the cheese, and then just the natural starches that are in the tomatoes. But there's no added sugar in this at all, so in the pizza sauce. For the kids, we'll put some pineapples on theirs because they like that. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's just sparkling water. Then as soon as the crust is done, the stuffed crust is done. Yeah, it's looking good. As soon as that's done, I will be putting this in to bake just until the toppings look all nice and brown, probably about 5 minutes or so. And we will have a finished Meatzza. My mother-in-law named it. And I think it's aptly named. So, I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I am back with the stuffed crust. And because I didn't have it, I wasn't cooking it on the pizza pan, and I was just cooking it on my pizza stone. I'm glad that I have a silicone pad in the lower rack, because grease did drip off. Because this had the cheese and stuff, it was just a little bit more greasy than the last one. So what I do with this is I'll drain this so that when I put it back in the oven, it's not dripping the grease. But I don't like to do it in the sink because I don't want all this crap getting in my pipes, especially in the winter. So then I can save this. I can use it for flavoring or anything. If I choose not to, I'll let it get hard and then I'll throw it in the garbage. Alright, so obviously because this is a stuffed crust, can't do the pizza sauce all the way to the edge. So it'll be just a little bit different. We'll see how they like it. Zoe, would you like a stuffed crust? Okay, you want to give me the pineapple out?
Here's it.
It should be in the cupboard. Oh, look, I have a daughter home.
Hi, daughter.
All right. So, and since she's getting the stuffed crust. She prefers the yellow cheese. Are you finding it, honey? They were the cans. I bought them the other day. Natalie, do you know where the pineapple ended up at?
Somewhere in the cupboard.
Oh, that's lovely. Could
I
you?
heard something about stuffed crust, so I'll
Could
make
you?
stuffed crust.
Could you? Well, I'll make a stuffed crust. I'm doing a cook with me video right now.
Your hamburgers?
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you need them for dinner?
Nope. Just wanted to have them for this weekend.
Have a pineapple
Right.
juice.
Thank you.
I thought I had to rush home with them.
Oh no. I'm
When
making.
the contract
I'm making meatzza.
I know what you're making, that's why I thought I had to rush home with them.
Aw, you're so sweet. I have such a sweet daughter. Alright, she's gonna help me maybe edit this too before I post it. Alright. Hey! Oh, well, don't spill. Can I get the pineapple first, please? So that I can. Thank you. I'll make sure there's lots of pineapple. You do not have to whisper. You can even come on and say hi. No? Okay. So she likes lots of pineapple. All right. Yep, that's. And I'll just put a little bit of white cheese on top.
Okay, that's fine. There's so much pineapple juice.
Okay. And I'm going to check the pizza that I put in the oven and see how that is doing. Needs to cook just a little bit longer. So I'll be right back. All right. Beef. Okay.
You were eating it
This
before.
is a finished meatzza.
Yeah, there's something.
So the stuffed crust meatzza is in the oven, and then I'll finish mixing up and rolling out crusts, and then I'll do the turkey one. But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you experiment and make your own meatzza. And it's pretty easy. You really can't screw it up. So if you like this, please share it. Please give it the thumbs up. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.
It
and
tastes good.
it tastes good. And then since this is in December and New Year's is coming up, have a Happy New Year.